Hey, ha-ho, we're the Farley brothers.
Holy shit, we got another show on our hands, John.
God bless America, we've done it.
God damn it.
This shit is real today.
Lights are on.
Oh, exactly.
This shit
We've
is
got a very, very special guest.
Oh, my.
Oh my God, he's
God.
such a kind, gentle,
Yes.
a caring person. I've known him for
Got a
years.
voice of an angel.
Voice
Mr.
of an angel,
Smiles.
ladies and gentlemen, Bill Burr.
How are you?
Hey!
Did my mother write that intro?
You're actually dead.
Yeah, none of that was true.
Kind, gentle,
Piece of
caring,
shit.
caring young man. Caring, thank you, God damn,
Yeah.
for
Holy
doing this.
shit.
Thank you for having me.
is
Look, you
huge.
This
broke
is a
out a
huge
cheese
help.
plate and a Coors Light here.
Right.
Come on, good.
I did this myself. I thought,
I could
Bill's
tell by
coming
the
over.
unbelievably uneven slices of cheese.
I know.
You were definitely multitasking when you did that.
Yeah, I was slicing very quickly, and the plate itself
Is
a
adorable.
gift. It's a gift from Target, and
Like a gift, like you stole it?
well, it was a gift somebody gave it to me, and it's a nice little gift. But I mean, this is the best I can do when I'm entertaining as an important guest.
That is.
Cheese and crackers and beer.
Beer, that's great. I haven't had a
the
Coors
best.
Light since I can't remember. I think
Silver
when I
bullet.
was underage
Yeah.
drinking in a parking lot
Yeah.
in an industrial park.
I'm surprised at how good
Coors
it is.
Light.
I bought a
Not gonna
bunch of that. I bought a
Coors
12
Light?
wrecker. 12 wrecker the other day, and Jennifer, my wife, had some girls over, and I was sitting in the living room, and all I heard, there was one probably by my bed or something, and all I heard was, ew, who's drinking Coors Light? Gross. I'm like, what?
What's wrong
Coors
with
Light
Coors
actually,
Light?
for the first time ever, sold more beers than Budweiser. So Budweiser is technically not the king of beers anymore.
This is the biggest king of beers?
That's because
Oh
of
my
those Biggest
God.
Loser shows. People won't drink Bud Hard anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
I used to love Budweiser, just straight Budweiser.
Hey, it was
I was a Bud
yeah.
man over Miller Lite. I went against Wisconsin.
For a while, I was Miller Lite, but then
That was the battle in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Miller Lite or Budweiser. That was it.
Yeah.
We used to drink, when we were hungover, we used to drink Bush or Bush Light because it was sort of like water.
Yeah.
You know, kind of you got hydrated and a buzz.
Worked.
Right.
Yeah.
both ways.
I like when you're hungover, you drink the crappy beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to, in my college, I went to Marquette University in Milwaukee, and we had a place called the Avalanche, a real shithole. It had no windows except those kind of burned out, those like windows that are like, they're not really windows, but you can't see in or out of them. You know?
Right.
And there was just one row of those, and that's it. And then the rest
You
of it
mean
was
those
dark.
Like-
square
They're
hunks
square
of fucking glass?
They're glass, but you can't see. They're blurry.
Yeah, I know
They're
what you mean.
blurry.
It's a gay bar. He went to a gay bar.
All the
A gay bar for
Avalanche.
married men. You know, you don't want to get caught out there.
Yeah, in the day it was gay, and then the college kids came in at night, and it turned. It
It was that
fun.
weird transitional period.
5 o'clock was very confusing.
weird transitional period around 5 o'clock
Oh
where
my
the
God,
college
they're
kids
coming
came
in. What are you guys still doing here? All right, we're leaving. We're leaving.
But back in the day, they used to serve red, white, and blue.
I remember that stuff.
Yeah, and it was 50 cents. I'm aging myself, but that's all right.
No, it was like
It was-
$4.99 a case. I'm not
Yeah,
joking.
yeah.
It was something ridiculous. $5.99 for a case of beer, 24 of them.
Yeah.
Holy
And that was like the funny thing. Like if people even as like high school kids, we looked down on it. Like if somebody came in, like,
Yeah,
if you were
with red,
drinking
white, and
red,
blue.
white, and blue, it was as a joke because
Yeah.
you know
Right.
you'd still try to get Geez, now we're talking old beer. I remember the ones.
Old
do you guys
beer.
remember Heffenreffers?
F and ref.
The Green Death. You don't remember that? It used to come in a green bottle,
Yeah.
and
Is it like a Mickey's? Remember Mickey's with
I
the big
drink
mouth?
yeah, but it wasn't that. It was an extra level of alcohol. So it was so funny. We used to be like, dude, you're really going to get fucked up on these. When all you had to do was just drink a whiskey. Like if I knew back then where it's just like all the extra effort. This is like eating, like drinking beer to get drunk is like eating popcorn like one at a time.
Yeah.
And if you drink whiskey, you're just grabbing a handful like, let's get on with this already.
So
do
many
it.
That was
more-
our designated driver. We'd always be like, he's just drinking beer.
He's
no
just
worries.
drinking beer.
He's fine. He can drive.
Exactly.
So much
No.
extra pooping too.
Oh,
after
yeah.
beer. When you tried to drink, I remember trying to get
Oh,
drunk
yeah.
on beer, and it was just like so.
But the weird thing
Shitting
is,
for me is it's
when we
porous
finish
out of me.
our red, white, and blue is in a bottle, And when you were finished with it, you would throw it against the wall and smash it. That's how crazy this bar was.
Wait a minute. I thought it came in like red cups.
No, they did eventually because everybody was throwing their beer against the wall, you know, and like girls, nice girls were in there, and they get like it was like Animal House. You remember when the girl walks into Animal House and she gets a beer slammed?
Yeah.
It was exactly like that.
Now, did Chris actually invent?
Yes, he did.
He invented the naked beer slide.
Yeah, my brother Chris.
Did you see the very first naked beer
saw
slide?
it. We played rugby.
Right.
Chris and I were on the rugby team, and Chris would get drunk after games. It was weird. It was weird. But he when he got drunk, yes. The
Silver.
Ooh, there's a mountain stream.
And after the rugby game, he got completely naked in the avalanche, and everybody threw their beer on the ground.
Right.
You know, and he took a running dive and did like a Pete Rose with his dick against the ground. You know, I thought his dick was going to get cut off.
Are you talking about people throwing beer bottles, breaking them?
There were beer bottles around. Yes, broken beer bottles around. He still did it. He still went head first, Pete Rose slide into the back. But the funniest thing, because he was, you know, super fat, when he hit the back of the wall, his fat would jiggle all around. And he'd hit the back wall so hard, that was really the funny thing.
Right.
Because he would go so fast and hit the back wall really hard. And that's when everybody was like, God damn, that's hilarious. A naked fat guy hitting the wall really, really hard.
I see. I thought he was sliding out the door. He was sliding in the door.
Inside the bar.
Into the people.
Yes, into the people, into the girls.
It's the 80s. You could get away with And people from the 70s were saying you missed it. And people from the 60s were saying that they missed it.
Right.
We just keep...
Yeah.
There's this weird thing now where it's like, it's nowhere near as hardcore, or it's just like, you know, people are getting their faces eaten. I just feel like it's either like timeout, everybody gets a ribbon, or people are on bath salts at raves.
Yeah.
You know.
They have taken it to the level where I think where we're, even me, because I always thought we grew up kind of crazy. Chris doing naked beer slides, but it was mostly booze and I guess some pot.
Tomfoolery.
Yeah, little tomfoolery.
Right.
You know, like people. So you had the pothead, you had the druggie, and you had the boozer. You know,
But
No, it's
HBO
great.
was around, and they felt no need to do documentaries on people crushing a bunch of Coors Lights. Like, what's wrong with the youth? But all those oxy, crystal meth. Like,
Now these
oh my
guys,
God.
they're like going.
Fuck,
everyone
man.
going to their parents' medicine cabinet, and we'll pour it into a vase, and then people just start taking pills and eat. Like, what are you? I got a boner. I guess your dad must have had Viagra. Yeah, that's what happened to you. And then another guy.
Well, they don't know what they're taking, and they just take it, and they're like, I think that was a Vicodin, but I got a boner. No, you're on Viagra.
Right.
Oh, okay. You didn't know what you were taking?
And some guy be knocked out. Like,
No, I got to hand it to him. I thought when I saw crack babies, I was like, that's it. Like, there's no,
No shit, right?
there's no way my children or anything will ever be able to shock me. And then when I was doing college gigs in the late 90s, I first started seeing those before and after crystal meth billboards. Dude, it was Walking Dead. Like those meth
I've
heads
seen those.
should do a class action suit against all zombie. Well, I guess zombie movies came out before, but they're like the closest thing. Like if I was a meth head and I was fiending and I needed money, I would just be an extra on Walking Dead.
No
I would
makeup.
crush it. No makeup, exactly, and just like.
Just go in and be like, I want to be an extra in fucking Z War. What was
Yeah.
that Z?
World War
Was it
Z.
the World
Oh, that
War
was
Z.
a great movie.
Fuck, that was a great movie. Did you see World War Z?
scared me.
Holy
I loved
shit,
it.
that
and
was great.
And I made fun of it on my podcast. I was saying the end of the world is not PG-13.
yeah,
It's going to be NC-17. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Murder in the street and all
No
kinds
shit.
of cursing. And golly gee, there's zombies. But I saw it. You know what was great about it? Because they toned down the violence. They did what I feel a lot of people who do thrillers don't do enough. Because they have the special effects to lean on, is they built suspense.
Yeah.
They built it with the music and all that. And I learned
Yeah.
that a long time ago when I was watching Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. I don't know if you guys ever
What
saw that.
the fuck?
Fuck.
Dark
What
Knight of
movie
the,
is that?
Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Judah Friedlander finally found out the name because I was on the road watching it, and they didn't say what the name was. It was the classic horror movie where it was a small town, and there was this single mother, and she had a son who was a little slow. And everyone was making fun of him. He's like, stop picking on me, right? And somehow they all got together and they killed him. near like a scarecrow.
They made him into a scarecrow.
And no, they killed him near in a cornfield. They I don't know what, I can't remember. They went out of
Why
control.
did they kill him? Because he's slow.
I forget.
bullied him.
Probably because they were date raping somebody, and he said, "Stop doing that." So that this is a '70s movie, right?
Right.
So the football players whacked him, and then he comes back out of the cornfield as a scarecrow, and it was creeping me out, like. And you go see The Perfect Storm, and you don't give a shit about anybody in the movie because it's all about the wave, and it's just like, all right,
Yes.
And George Clooney in there, and he pushes himself back into the boat rather than doing what you really do when you drown. Freaking out.
You're freaking out
He
because
still
you're
had like
dying.
the one eyebrow up, like, goddamn, I'm good looking.
Right.
The ocean just got a whole lot better looking with me in it, So I didn't give a, and I love all those guys, and I love Clooney's projects, all those type of things, but like that thing, like dude, I read that book, one of the few books I ever read, Perfect Storm.
The Perfect Storm, yeah.
Dude, they took a time out in that book and for one chapter explained what happens when you drown. Terrifying. Terrifying.
No way.
All the way down to the point when you're unconscious and you've breathed in the water.
God.
And what happens, either you drown that way or your throat,
Damn it. Stop it, Bill.
your throat just closes off.
Oh, God.
In a reaction and you actually suffocate.
Oh, God.
But after that, you're not breathing and you're out and the dopamine's going. Your brain is still like synapses are still firing like,
so gross.
like you're trying to jumpstart the car. After you've technically checked out consciously, your brain still does that.
You've ruined our happy podcast.
For like another 12. Oh, do you guys have a happy one? I'm
ruined
sorry.
our happy
sorry.
podcast.
Damn it.
Oh,
Bill, I'm
God.
sorry.
Everybody
Again.
was settling in for a nice, jokey, fun night.
Well, you guys started it with
here's my favorite show was The Deadliest Catch. Did you ever watch that? Holy fuck,
Yeah.
that's a good show.
I watch that, but I'm terrified of the ocean.
Oh, yeah,
I can't.
yeah.
Anytime they get near the side, I just keep going. It's a TV show. It's a TV show. Nobody's going over the side. Nobody's going to go over. If they go over, they're going to get them back.
Well, you'd never go on a cruise then.
No, I went on a cruise one time, and it freaked me out.
It did.
Freaked me out. And my girlfriend at the time was just going, "We should take a cruise," and I'm like, "I don't want to go on a cruise." And she goes, "Why not?" And I go, "Cause I've like most of the books I've read are classic books, so half of them take place out at sea. Beauty on the Bounty, Moby
Old
Dick,
Man and the
Moby Dick,
hell yeah,
right.
Old Man of the Sea,
shit.
the Count of Monte Cristo. Even if at one point he's on an island and he gets on a damn boat, and just all these keel hauling, horrific, just wooden ships getting crushed. So what was hilarious was my girlfriend at the time and her other girlfriend laughed at me that I thought it was scary thing, and I swear to God, like within 2 months, like I forget what happened to this cruise ship. It either collapsed or collided with another one.
Yeah.
And people died.
Horrible.
And I
deaths.
felt vindicated by the death of those people. When I was on that cruise ship, though, like they totally lied to me. Where like they asked me to do the cruise ship, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't have an act for a cruise ship.
Oh, you do some acting. Yeah, we do some comedy on there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch of old people.
Yeah.
I just no, I don't want to do it. And they're like, no, we're the young hip cruise ship. This is where all the kids are going today. So I'm like,
And they
all right.
offered you good money. And they probably,
Of course, yeah, it was great
Yeah.
money. So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to do it. So I show up, I get in the van to go over, and I'm with a juggler. Swear to God, nice enough guy, but he juggles.
He juggles.
I'm a
Juggles,
juggler.
yeah. What else?
Just different craft.
Yeah. Started off plate spinning at open
Right.
mics and then worked up to juggling and eventually was going to get a puppet. So we get on the boat. I get on the boat. The first thing I see is like this, I swear to God, 120-year-old like Vietnamese lady sleeping with her mouth open and literally has the platoon in the rice field hat on. I swear to God, I'm not being racist. It's cultural. She was wearing it and she had her mouth open and she was missing like from 6 to 11 for those of you in the dental field. That's canine to canine. And I saw that. I'm like, I'm going to eat my balls. This is going to be horrible. So I go down
She's
to go.
in the front row.
No, she was like one of the first people I saw when I got on the boat. She was already asleep. There was no excitement. Oh my God, we're going on the cruise.
Holy fuck.
Her family probably brought a Vietnamese flag so they could have a burial at sea. Just slide her underneath the thing.
Like a death
That
ship.
bonfire was already-
So anyway, so I go down to go do the show, and it's going to be me. The juggler's going first, and then I'm going to close, and I can't curse. And there's one
No
show,
cursing.
yeah, one show
Oh.
late at night that you can do your real act or whatever in the lounge. So the host comes up to me like this total guy smiley. Hey, how are you? Nice to be here. Carnival Cruises. The blue blazer, full head of fucking slick back, black hair and all that. And he goes out. I know I've told this story before if anybody knows me, but he goes out to the crowd, and this is how he warms up. He comes out, he goes, hey, how's everybody doing? You feeling good? And he goes, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. And they did it. And they did it. And then right then, I'm literally going like, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? And then the juggler comes out, and he's doing the seal thing, the thing, going over and stomping his foot.
Eating it up.
Dude, it was like...
it up.
It was like Lawrence Welk wouldn't book these guys in the late 60s. Okay? So and they had this little band that played. So I went and when I go out and the curtain is drawn, I'm standing in front of the band is right behind and I go into my stuff and I am dying. A miserable death. And the only thing that's keeping me going is the band is laughing because they're like, born about the time I was born. And I remember at that time, this is how long ago it was. This is when that movie, The Titanic, was a big deal. And I was like, and I said, hey, did any of you guys see that movie, The Titanic? And it was just crickets. So, all right, let me rephrase that. How many of you were on the Titanic, right? And then they all go, oh. And I'm like, what? You're old. What am I supposed to do here? They told me you guys were going to be young. And I just said, and they were dying laughing. And then that was what ended up happening. I ended up hanging out with the band, and they started telling me all these hilarious stories about working on a cruise ship. Where one time they were on this cruise ship, and they got like the two big the props in the back.
Yeah.
And one of them kept crapping out on them, and they knew they should dry dock it, but they had a cruise, so they risked it one more time. And they went out there, and one of them died. So now the best they can do is half speed. So they're not going to have enough time to go to Cancun and all the places they're going to be. So this is like back then when you went out to sea, there was no internet. So the captain,
you're fucked.
So the captain lied, said, unfortunately, we were going to go into Cancun, but there was a hurricane. It's an act of God. It's beyond our power. And everybody's like, oh, what a rip, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, somebody had a heart attack or some sort of medical thing, and immediately they had to go to the closest port. I forget what happened, and they pulled in. Yeah, they pulled in. Maybe they didn't have a helicopter to get the guy off. I don't know what, but they pull in, and there's like bright sunny day in Cancun. There's two other cruise ships there. Everybody is livid, and anybody. Yeah, the captain. Everybody's nowhere to be found, and all that. But long story short, on that thing, I wish I saved the letter. The captain wrote a letter about how mean I was and how I was racist. I was offensive.
Racist?
I was offensive to the handicap because I had a joke about midgets and all of this stuff. And
oh my God,
yeah.
You should have saved that letter.
When I never had it, I should have asked for it.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I called up the agency to get the feedback, once they said the captain wrote a letter,
get the feedback.
I was like, all right.
Did you get paid? Did you at least get?
No, I got paid, and it was like, yeah, but the whole thing too is they had me like my place where I was staying. I was like on like the lower deck of the ship with like the round porthole. I was down there with the provision, right? And it was like one night there was rough seas, and it wasn't really bad, but bad enough, Yeah. And it was just like I saw some of the spray coming up near my window, and I was just like,
too close.
Oh yeah, no, I needed a cyanide pill just to relax, so I just had that option of.
Well, they did just bust a cruise line for like they were storing food products in people's cabins, like trays and trays. What is it? A celebrity cruise line? I don't know. Like last year,
they were.
They busted that. Like the food and health safety people came on, and they had been like storing like meat, like pork.
Oh God!
Not refrigerated in people's like cabins.
Yeah.
And,
so what? So they could book out the freezer areas, another room.
They didn't want that the food service people, like they were getting a check.
I love the guy that ran the motherfucker ashore over in Italy.
I heard he was getting a BJ.
What?
Really?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
There was a chick up on deck.
No, you're lying.
In the captain's things, he was getting. They were fucking.
The guy
chick.
that there's a trip
and
that
he
went
was
over.
like probably jizz and went at the wheel. No, I swear to God, I think
you heard he was
chicken.
getting.
Or
a
he could
BJ.
last a long time.
Yeah,
and he hadn't looked out the windshield in about an hour.
I got this.
Best.
He's trying.
Is that Sicily?
We're coming into port soon. He's gonna blow soon. We're coming into port. I got
The way Italians view sex. I was living in Italy when
Getting
Clinton,
a blow?
Yeah.
No, listen. I was living in Italy when Clinton had his little incident.
Yeah.
And it was just people laughing so hard. Papers just saying like Clinton fare il sesso con intern, and everyone's just like the news. The actual news station was really just like a guy, almost like at a Charlie Rose desk, just circling the headlines and holding them up like that. They had a paper, and that was like that was the news.
Like,
And,
is it no big deal to them like the French?
No, fucking
Oh, yeah,
hilarious.
no.
They just thought it was so
You mean
fucking
Clinton's
hilarious.
blowjob?
Yes, just like,
Yeah.
can you believe they give a shit? Like what?
Yeah.
What
No
prime
shit.
minister or what president wouldn't be getting a blowjob from an intern? Like,
Oh, I know.
Obviously.
I know. Like the guy
Now,
from
do
Italy.
marriages last longer than over there?
That's a good question. I
the
don't
women
know.
turned to stone, so I don't know. They're just so iced
That's a good
over.
question because
Are they really?
I would argue they all probably cheat. I mean, shit, they all probably cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What cultures do marriages last longer? The cultures that they beat women and be like, "You fucking make my dinner
Yes,
right now."
yes,
And they
because
like they last longer. Or
fear is more important. Fear is the best. Fear. If you have your wife
Look at
scared
Bronx
to death-
tale
Oh,
over
shit,
here.
I'm the only one married.
Well,
in
no,
the
no.
room.
Fear. If you have,
This is
if
real
your
life.
wife is afraid of you,
Yeah.
well, then yeah, she's not going to leave. But you've
Right.
got to make her really afraid of you,
Okay.
like
Kevin?
really fucking afraid of you.
Okay.
I'm not saying hit her.
No.
I'm not advocating that. But
There
if
are
your
a
wife
number of
is
ways to do it, but you could do it in a nice way where you're just such a sweetheart and so understanding
well, the problem is most wives.
that she's like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
hope
Right.
nothing ever happens to this guy.
right.
Right.
That's
gotta make her-
probably
But
the
the-
better way to go. This is like good cop, bad cop relationship. Or
Exactly. But that, I'm
I
just
don't know
saying
what
that
to
I
do
think
now.
that the divorce rate is so high in this country is because wives are not afraid of their husbands anymore. They're not afraid at all. They're not afraid at all.
No.
So, in other words, to
he
bring
really wanted to hammer that point home.
well, to bring the divorce rate down,
Okay.
you've got to be a little bit more like Mad Men. You know, you ever see Mad Men?
Yeah.
Well, women
But
were
Kevin, every
fucking
time I
scared
fucking talk up to
shitless
my
of men.
wife-
They're scared of them. They're like, yes, sir, no, sir. Now they're like, fuck you. They
What's
don't care.
wrong with divorce?
What's wrong with divorce?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
If you're making more money than the other person, there's a
Yeah.
lot wrong with it. There's a lot wrong with it.
Every
It's-
time I
it's
yell
like-
back at my wife, I get in trouble.
Well, I know because
Silence.
she's not afraid of you.
So
No,
no,
that's not
she's
the
afraid.
answer.
Oh, believe me. If I yell hard enough, then she'll be scared. Or if I block her from leaving the room, then she gets
Then
scared.
she's scared.
But
No.
that goes away. And then she's just like, if she gets away from me, then
What?
If she gets
Shut up.
so you've blocked her from a door.
yeah, I've done
Yeah.
this. Where are
Yeah.
you going? Where are you going?
Where are you going? Where are you
Huh?
going?
Come on,
Right.
let's just talk this out.
Right.
She's like, you're scaring me. I want to get out of this room. I'm like,
And you go,
Yeah, yeah. You already felt the police, the cops' knee in your back. That's another thing too, though. Is
Yeah.
they could smash a vase over your head and then call the cops and be like, "He's scaring me. He's bleeding all over the rug."
Yeah, he's bleeding.
And then they would take you out like you're a rapist.
they would take you, yeah.
So it's just one of those things where we're living during the payback times.
Fuck,
during
that
all
sucks,
during
bro.
all
Right.
those rules of thumbs, after all the
Yeah.
years of them getting beaten by mop handles and that thing that you used to put more air on the fire, that was
Right.
good. They used to slap them across the face with that.
we're living in the playback time.
Yeah, now we're living like
We're living in a time where a wife can take
Yeah.
the vase and go, and then call 911 and go 911 and go, I'm being beaten,
oh,
Right.
God.
and they'll come and arrest you.
yeah.
Well,
but the only person you can blame for that is the fucking animal guys all the way up. All that
Right.
all those cologne bottles that got thrown against the sides of these innocent women's heads.
That's right.
Well-
we have to blame those idiots for.
There's
The
a
only
lot
ones we
could
have to blame.
They're the ones we have to blame.
I blame them for that, and I also blame the dickhead that decided to go in and watch his wife give birth. Who
Oh
the
my
fuck
God.
was that guy?
Johnny.
Dude, do you know how many guys?
That was like-
do you know how many guys like pass out when they see that they faint?
Yes.
No
And now
shit.
Yes.
I remember a long time ago, a buddy talking about like working in like a dental office and stuff, and like he would never have somebody outside the like. It's like, look, the assistant, me, and then the patient. That's it. When other people wanted to be in there, it's like, I don't want them in there because they're going to pass out. Now I got 2 patients. I got someone with a concussion. Right. I'm in the middle of a root canal. And they
like that.
Bring them in. Like, I don't know who the guy was.
There was a guy, and then
that brought people into the root canal,
the other guy's wife was Keith's fucking Mary Beth's husband went and watched a birth. What's the matter with you?
And this is the thing, though. And I got to ask you this. Since guys started doing that, did that phenomenon where the guy is grossed out and can't get it up to have sex for a couple months afterwards, that was the fallout of that?
No shit.
That was.
I don't know. I don't know if it is. I'm asking, did that exist?
It makes sense
that it
for
would.
most guys.
Maybe it's evolutionary. Women shouldn't be fucking that soon anyway.
Maybe women wanted that because they didn't want to get laid for the next 6 months. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's women's way of not getting laid for the next 6 months.
No, it's just one of those things where, when you have to go, I don't know, do some awful guy shit, we don't drag you into it.
No shit.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You got like this
I've
amazing
looked at enough
thing.
dicks and wondered what was wrong.
No,
with
have
them.
you ever
He's
fucking
talking
taken your
about some
finger
guy
and jammed
shit.
a hemorrhoid back up in a guy's ass?
Yeah, you
think girls don't get hemorrhoids.
You need to come in here. But you know what's weird about them? They would want to do it on some level.
Yes.
Just to see you in a weak position. I don't know what it is. They're just wired differently. I don't claim to know it, but
I agree
I've
with
had that argument with a lot of now ex-girlfriends. I've had tons of arguments with them about.
I don't understand
about that shit. Where I was just like, they would talk about having kids. I've obviously never had kids, and I was just like, I go, well, I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be out in the waiting room with cigars, old school.
Yeah.
Like, no, you need to be there. I go, for what?
For what?
When the car gets fixed, am I sitting there sticking my head under the hood? I'm just in the way.
I'm in the way. Yeah. But I don't understand. It's one thing to be there. Oh, God. First of all, if I ever have a kid, I'm going to be right eyeball with the girl. I'm going to be like, I'm right here with you. Eyeball. There's no way I'm looking under the curtain. There's
That's
no
all
way.
She wants. That's
no.
She wants.
Okay,
I watched.
But here's the weird guy. The weird guy that's got the video camera up the twat.
Oh,
the video camera up the twat.
Yeah.
Who fucking started doing that?
Like when they give you like a C-section.
Yeah.
It's like they got to take your guts out.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is like some Saving Private Ryan shit. Like, you need guys who have seen that shit. I can't go from fucking getting my teeth cleaned to all of a sudden seeing entrails being taken out and then put back in. That's fucking insane.
The anesthesiologist was like, okay, so you can't see anything, and then I'm kind of like having a hard time.
You can't hear the intestines.
No,
I can feel it. He knows it's happening, right? But then the anesthesiologist, like, they have this shit down to a science. They know, okay, Dad, they just call him Dad, kind of patronizing. Be like, okay, Dad, 2 minutes till picture time. And, the dads are like freaking out, fumbling. So Adam gets his camera ready. And then they're like, okay, Dad, stand up, start taking pictures. So Adam was like, and like, we looked through them later.
Yeah.
Terrible. I went to
course.
an exhibit at the Getty about war photography, and it really was
Same
like,
shit.
Why?
Same shit.
Why,
and I gotta tell you, like surgeons,
Why would they want to do that?
After a while, from what I've overheard in bars, are I just gotta make sure they get fucked up.
No.
From like opening bodies up and seeing inside, like that does it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like watching too much porn. It's the same kind of thing where you're like
watching too much
like that
porn.
thing. Like if you watch too much porn, like it's like you worked on the Vice Squad for 20 fucking years, and you're just like this accountant. And you have all like these twisted thoughts. And I think like you sit there opening up, like taking guts out and putting them back in and stuff. Like
it's got to fuck you up.
Even though your motivation is you're helping the person, it's like that's. Desensitizes you in I don't know what sort of way, but it's a traumatic fucking thing.
No shit.
That I swear to God, like I want to say this. I mean, I know it's easy for me to say in my position. If it was flipped and we were like seahorses and I gave birth, I wouldn't make you go in there. The same way if I'm with a woman and she doesn't like a football game, I'm not going to make you sit down and watch this. This is my show. Watch it with me. I'm not going to. I get it. Why would I make you do something you didn't want to do?
No, I mean, it's true because it's such a womanly thing. It is a womanly thing to give birth. It's all you, man. All you. I don't have that. So, go do it. Go do it, man.
You can do it, yeah.
You
like
can
give you a
do
high
it.
five.
I'll
Like,
cheer it.
look,
I'll
if
cheer
I
for
was
it.
a surgeon or something like that, and I had my own scrubs I could bring in there, and I'm all, hey, we're back at the old ball yard, and I feel comfortable. That's fine, but like, just take like fucking stand-up comic. Or some guy who rotates tires. Hey, you want to see your wife's intestines? No, I don't.
I do not.
I totally support her and all that type of stuff. I'm out here. I really want. But you guys are the experts. You guys do this stuff. Dude, a buddy of mine, like within the last 2 years, he had a kid. He fainted. Whacked his head.
No shit.
Yeah, she had a C-section. And just, you can't tell me there's not an odor. Of
odor. Odor.
There is.
They
There an
shit,
odor?
They
They
shit
caught-
the
they-
bed sometimes
No.
because they're pushing.
Well, that's different.
That's not C-section. Pushing out the vagina.
Could we take more of the beauty away from what's the end? How far are we from the? Look at horse.
Does poop come out too?
No.
They no. That the girl's like going, well, all right, push. 1, 2, 3.
And they shit.
No,
They
the
shit
smell
on the
is from,
fucking-
if you really want to know,
What's the smell?
cauterizing the blood vessels.
What's
What the hell does that mean?
Look at
Oh my
Jorge.
God!
Jorge's
Because-
gonna
so
throw
you
up.
don't bleed out. So they take heat that cauterizing.
Take
Yeah, when
like
you
a
heat.
laser. and they, like,
Good God.
Yeah, you think burnt hair smells
think,
bad?
yeah. Here's what threw me for a loop. I had the kid. They had Harry. She gave birth to Harry, and then a couple nurses dragged him over to the heat lamp and washed him off. I'm like, that's great. There's old Harry. And then I hear, okay, now Mrs. Farley, push again. Let's get this out. And I'm like, am I
What
having
is it?
twins? It's the fucking sack of their food.
Oh, placenta.
Yeah, they've
placenta.
Yeah.
And that thing is like that big. It's the size of
big.
the baby.
And I'm gonna tell you this right now. Was there anything in all those alien movies that they made that ever was more that
Frightening.
freaked you out
No.
more? Yeah.
Right.
No, because it glistened in the fucking heat of the summer. And
Let me ask you this, you fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Why the fuck, excuse my fucking language, would you ever look at that? What made you look at it?
Why did fucking
What?
people?
No.
Why?
Why you-
Think of
why
your,
did I do it?
think deeply. Why did you fucking look at that?
Why is he
Why do I
blaming
slow
the
down
victim?
at fucking car wrecks? Because I want to see
No,
fucking
dude,
brains.
this is a girl you want to have sex with, though.
Huh?
I don't know. I wouldn't look
I'll
at it.
fucking do it anyway. I don't give a flying fuck. I'll fuck God.
Can I apologize to any woman who listens to this? I know we sound like morons, but we
know.
are being honest.
It is. I would sit there and I would not want to look at it. No
Right.
way. No
Well,
way.
Kevin, it turns back into a beaver. Trust me. Then you can
It
fucking
snaps back.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, guys, Jesus, this is even going beyond me. Listen, this is my thing. I just you just literally made my thought go away with the way you just said that. What I don't like about it is I don't like that it's become this thing, a gauge of your feeling towards the woman you're with. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it. Yeah, I don't think it
agree.
has to be that way at all.
It's become this thing where if you don't go in there.
No.
I mean, there's certain
From who?
people that, there's literally people out there that if they give blood, they have to look away because if they look, they're just
pass
needles.
out.
That's just their thing.
Yeah.
And there's guys like that, and you're gonna send that person in there to
Yeah.
potentially be
Yeah.
a foot away from a C-section.
Yeah.
Which is in a way, a controlled medieval torture going on. It's like the
Yeah.
Braveheart. Freedom!
Even the army.
It's a
when
baby
they-
coming out.
When they interview you for the army and you sit down with Sergeant and they go, Bill, you want to be in the army? And you go, yeah, I think I can do it. Within a half-hour interview, the guy can go, you're going to get killed right away because I can tell you're a pussy and you suck. You know what I mean? And these guys from the army know you're not going to be a great soldier. You know, they'll be like, they'll answer your serious questions. You'll be like, I'm not going to let you in. Why? Because you'll get a bullet through your head. You're not ready.
You're cannon
Yes,
fodder.
You're cannon fodder. I'm
Wait,
not
here's
going to
another
let you
thing.
do it.
Well, why just, if we're going to do this, then why would you just stop at the birthing thing? Why not anytime you need an operation in your life? Why isn't the husband
somebody else.
asked to go in there? I mean, I have some kidney stones. I don't have enough for the laser, so they're going to cut open my back. I want you got to be in there for me. You were the one who took me out to dinner, and I ate all that food. That's why I have kidney stones. And now all of a sudden I got to go in there. It's like,
I have a cyst in my back.
Especially, it would be hard enough for me to see a woman that I didn't care about in that situation.
Yes.
Forget about one that I loved. to see her filleted open. It's just like, I just don't ever want to, like, my eyes start watering thinking about that. Like, oh my God, I don't want to.
Don't do it. Bring it back. I don't think anybody, definitely don't want somebody there who doesn't want to be there. I'll tell you that.
But there's some old school stuff that we shouldn't
I'm right
throw
on the
away.
other side of the door. Right on the other side of the door. I got the stogies. I'm ready to go.
Right.
Okay, I'll fucking become Mr. Mom if you want to get your career. I don't give a shit. Okay, but I just don't want to see you here and right to the right like a purse.
Right.
Your large intestine.
Yeah. There's just
yourself
some
back
old
up.
school traditions we shouldn't throw away.
Right.
Why? Because they're actually not that bad. They're pretty good traditions.
Yeah.
The guy in the freaking waiting room with the cigar.
Right.
Not a bad tradition.
Girl gets stitched up, puts a little makeup on, combs her hair, put the baby in her arm.
Yep.
Send in the husband.
Not a bad.
Oh my gosh!
Hey,
Look at that! It's
look
great.
at that!
No.
Isn't that fun?
I could give a flying fuck if I'm not
Yeah.
if I'm the third person to ever see my kid the first time in its life.
You know what it is? It's mob mentality. That's what it is. People just they just get. You just see it. It's just like the herd just moves this way, and then everybody just starts going over the fucking cliff, and you're sitting there like, "What do you got? What are you doing?
What?
This doesn't prove any sort of love or connection. This is some fucking thing that I swear to God,
Somebody started.
either deranged dude, weird dude, or unbelievable fucking either codependent or controlling woman
Right.
Started.
talked her guy into
Right.
and then said it to her women friends and somehow made it sound like it was this Hallmark
Beautiful.
moment.
Yeah.
No
Do it.
shit.
And everybody followed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an ingrown
Everybody
toenail. I
followed.
want you to come in and hold my fucking toe, my hand.
Hey.
While they dig around my
Right.
goddamn toe. It's fucking disgusting. I would never want any woman to look at that. It's
No
like, you don't need to
shit.
be there for that. Look at, I heard they got a great fucking coffee house down the way. Bring your laptop.
Listen,
They
they're
got that
showing
herbal tea you like.
They're showing a 3-hour Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
Go there. By the time my toe will be done when it's over, we'll come back. We'll have a sandwich.
It started as an off the menu urban myth, and then it just fucking blossomed from there. It was like hey, I heard somebody, my buddy, he went in and looked at the birth. Is that? Oh yeah, that happens. I guess you can come in. There's 2. Then it would be like 2 people have done it, and then it becomes an option,
It's
and
the
then
guy.
it becomes a fucking law.
It's
You
the
have to
guy-
be in there.
It's the guy.
Fuck that.
There's like 5. There's a group of guys, and there's the one guy
Yeah,
that
we're
goes.
not organized.
There's the one guy that goes, "You guys are Neanderthals. It's beautiful." And then everybody just goes, accuses us
Right.
of being short-sighted and whatever Neanderthals.
I would say it's actually, rather than one person, what it is it's a group. And what they do is, this is what they do. They get a group together. This is how you do it. You get a group together where we've had enough.net, right? You start your little...
We've had enough.
Yeah, you start your little group. And then what you do is you just start watching television.
Yeah.
And you wait for someone to offend you that has either a TV show or a movie career, somewhere where there's advertisers connected. And then you go after them. And then you just got to get that first person to apologize. And once they apologize to you, that's like your first
You're
TV credit,
legitimate.
like you did Letterman.
Yeah.
You know?
That's your first TV credit.
And then you move your way up.
Yep.
Like the
Yep.
latest one that's out there right now, as far as like offending people, is the word tranny. All of a sudden, tranny has become they're saying this is their new thing. Like we gotta wait.
Right.
Somebody's gonna say tranny. Like I can say it. I don't have a TV show, so somehow I never offend people, even though I'm one of the dumbest people ever with a microphone. But if you have a TV show, all of a sudden they hone in on you, and then they got you. Because you can't hold your ground, because in the end, it's like, look, there's all the cast and crew, there's all these creators. I'm going to fuck all these people out of being able to make their mortgage.
Yeah.
And so you end up apologizing. Once you apologize, then you're admitting that you're wrong. Like, saying
I agree.
Tranny's short for transsexual, right?
Sure.
A transvestite?
Sure, yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck it's short for, but like, that would be literally like foodies getting upset that I said PB&J instead of peanut butter and jelly. Like, it's like when I say tranny, like that's not like, it's like, where you from? Philly.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, how dare you? It's just like,
Insensitive prick.
yeah. And it's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
there was never anything malicious in my heart whenever
Yeah.
I use that word.
Yeah.
We're running out of words. It's going to be like
Yeah.
cantaloupe is like next.
But when they
Right.
said there's going to be word police, we're there. We're already there. Because you're right. There's somebody waiting for you to say the wrong word, and then they're going to go, we're going to get an apology out of that guy. We're going to get him on the Today Show. Matt Lauer's going to get you, and you're going to sit in front of Matt Lauer, and you're going to apologize for saying what you said. And it's going to be gigantic news.
No, but you got to make sure that if you do it, you go after the right person. Like recently, somebody wrote a blog and they called out, white male comedians, and that's just genius because it's this lightning rod.
Oh yeah.
And then what it was in general something that any male comic could do, which was what it made it funny. Like I'm not going to really get into the details, but just say they said, I want to stop jokes about cruise ships, but only like attacked white male comedians, like an Asian male comedian. It's okay if you do it, or I don't know what it was, but it was perfect because you attacked a group that is generally considered like you're the oppressors. Even if you're that's the thing about white people. They are what you need them to be, depending on what you claim. We're either milking the welfare system, living in a trailer park, or part of the Klan, or we're fucking we're a Kennedy, a blue blood, like Hess. We're whatever you need to fucking be, and you can just paint with the broadest fucking brush you want to, and it's all fun. That's what cracks me up. That's why my name of my last special was "You People Are All the Same." That was a compliment and a negative thing, where it's just like I've traveled enough where I see it, and it's just like everybody is guilty of the same great things and awful things. It's just that we're we start the race in a different position. So,
Bill, there's only one option.
What's that?
I need to get you a shitload of ovulation kits. You need to find some chick tonight who's on her cycle. Ovulating. Boner. Get
cycle.
pregnant. Take
I don't like the word.
I don't either.
do what?
And make a baby and don't show up.
No, I would show. I'm there. I'm right on the other side of the door.
Inside. Got it.
I'm right on the other side of the door.
Yes, but you're the Messiah, I think, for this agenda, this issue.
No. You got to be able
Don't
to
call Bill a messiah.
Jesus, no.
Oh my God.
No, she knows I'm an idiot. She's setting me up because she knows this helps her side. Bill, you should be the spokesperson.
That's
no
the thing.
skeletons
She
in your
wants you to
closet.
start. She wants you to start a movement.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think
We should really switch to something more positive. This is becoming a bitch fest.
it has. It has.
It
has.
is a bitch fest.
It's
Sorry,
a bitch fest.
Women are
I got
dumb.
off
It's
on
fine.
That was my fault.
No,
well,
Billy.
let's talk about how you guys met.
Oh, me and Billy. Yeah, I've
I'm
known you
sure
how
there
long?
has to be a shitload of funny
We've known
stories.
each other for about.
we met in
20
acting
years.
class. No, we haven't. 20 years.
Was it 20 years?
No, that was like
How long ago was that?
99.
Okay.
14 years ago.
All right.
You know what I hate?
all blurs.
You know what I hate is that 20 years is not even an exaggeration at this
It's
point.
so bad. It's so bad. We met in Leslie Kahn's
Nice.
Leslie Kahn's
Miley
acting
Cyrus
class.
wasn't born yet.
No,
Who
you're
wasn't?
right. Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus.
She wasn't even born. I don't know. She probably wasn't. All right, thanks, John. You've ruined the podcast.
Sorry. And you
Nobody
guys
wants
met
to-
before.
She's a genius because I had never heard of her until she did whatever the hell she did.
Oh yeah,
Until she
is.
danced like every other woman has danced at the MTV Awards for the last 30 fucking years.
Right.
I know. Now everybody's talking about her. She is a genius, or her publicist is a genius. Jesus, I mean, she's the most famous person ever. But no, me and Billy met in Leslie Kahn's acting because we had Aisha
Were
Tyler.
you with
we had
Kenny
everybody.
Marino?
Kenny Marino.
Holy
Was he in
shit.
there?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah, he
got
was
that
great.
new movie coming out.
He was
Yeah.
great. He
Yep.
was great every class and always was like, he was so hard on himself.
He was very.
He was like the best every week. He'd be like, Ken, that was unreal. Nah, it was terrible. I stink.
He was really hard on himself.
Big
Me and
time.
Bill would do a scene and be like, "That was good, right?
Yeah, we did all
That's
right.
good.
Yeah, let's go get drunk.
The least hard on ourselves."
Yeah, he was like Larry Bird, still taking shots after practice. He's like reading Shakespeare.
We'd be like one scene, and we wouldn't even prepare for class. I'd be like, "Did you prepare your scene?" He'd be like, "No.
No.
We would read it, and it was
No,
good."
no, I actually prepared. That was me. I was that bad with preparation. But he was like he was I never saw him do anything that wasn't at the very least just awesome. I thought he was amazing. He was amazing.
Yeah,
That's
Aisha
right.
Tyler was in our class too. She's on The View now.
Yeah.
No, she's not. She's on
what?
the talk.
Oh, she's on the fucking. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Apologize.
She's on the
Aisha.
talk. She just had a book just came out. She's crushing it.
She's crushing it. She crushes.
Yeah,
it.
she's the female. She's
Wow.
the queen of all media right now.
Oh God, I always thought she worked so hard. It was amazing. God, and I was so lazy. Fuck, I was lazy. I'm still lazy. I go into that
No.
class. Yeah,
Kevin,
yeah.
no, you're not.
Yeah.
Come on, don't be hard on yourself.
Don't be so hard on
like old
yourself.
Kenny used to be.
I know.
You picked up that habit from him.
But you do.
But it worked for Kevin. It's like, I sucked that. Well, you kind of did, actually. What? I'm supposed to say that?
You know, when you go and be like, I really sucked in that scene. You go, yeah, you did. I go, I did?
I did.
That was kind of good.
Kind of prepared for
I was
that
just
one.
fishing for a compliment. You're supposed to say no. No, you didn't. That was great.
But acting is bullshit. We would do these sitcom, we do.
Leslie Kahn's great at sitcom.
Well, yeah, she's great, but we would try to get sitcoms every single year. I would try to, my goal was to get on a fucking sitcom because the sitcom is the best. You get in at fucking 11 o'clock, you're done by 3 o'clock, you get overpaid, and you go home. You have nice craft service, you say a funny line, you go home. Sitcom is the best.
Yeah.
It's the best way to make a living.
22 minutes. There's 6 of you.
Yeah.
So you've basically got maybe 8 minutes of talking.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's if the episode is about you.
Yeah.
If you play your
Sitcom.
card right, you play the weirdo. So you just walk in and they just use you as this vehicle to get out of the scene.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they push the story along to where they needed to be, and then you go, oh, that reminds me of the time I was dating that farm animal, and then they all look like, huh?
Yeah.
And then they go, and
then you walk
go to
out.
commercial.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's what I always want to be. In every sitcom, I want to be the guy that walks in the door, says a funny line, and leaves.
Right. Ted Knight.
Yes, Ted Knight. Exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
Good night.
He
Oh, my
was the
God.
best.
Oh,
and he wasn't the
God.
star of the show. He didn't have to
Nope.
be in every scene.
All of those shows in the 70s, it was
Yeah.
just murderer's row. It's so many of them.
no
the
shit.
entire cast of Mary Tyler Moore, All in the Family. Even like the spin-offs were beasts. Like the Jeffersons came out of All in the Family, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
Yeah, like Maude came out of like, what did that one come out
Maude
of?
was great.
Maud came out of Mary Tyler Moore? No.
No.
Maude
Fish
came-
came out of Barney Miller.
Right.
Fish did, yeah.
Rhoda came out.
Thank God we're drinking
Rhoda
Coors Light
came
here.
out.
Rhoda came out of Mary Tyler Moore.
Right.
But
What did
Mary
Maude-
Tyler Moore
Maude.
was the best sitcom ever, I
Then
think.
there's Maude.
And then there's
I love how they
Maude.
didn't give a shit to give you the pre-story. They just
they
started
cared.
with, and then there's Maude.
And
You
then
just had to
there's-
get caught up. Well, what the fuck? Shit.
She was supposed to be a liberal girl. She was supposed to be like a liberal kind of. Maude was a.
She was done with it. She was like,
They had the
all right.
abortion episode.
I think that's
And
what
they
it
never
was.
they never said abortion.
Oh, really? That was on Maude?
I think they called it your situation. I don't know what it was.
Your situation. You have to deal with your situation.
Yeah, when you get the pipes cleaned out there. Sorry.
Pipes clean.
This is us supposed to be trying to do happy banter. So then we go, let's get out of the whole trashing women during the
Right.
most
Shit.
beautiful moment of their life, other than their wedding, and let's start talking about Maude and abortion.
Abortions. No. No, sitcoms are, to me, like, that's why I went to acting class, was to get a fucking sitcom. That was my goal.
Yeah.
Now I could give a shit. I mean,
No.
Jesus Christ. I've failed so many times on these goddamn tests. I come in and I go,
Oh, come on, you're not failing.
Come on.
Oh, cheer up.
You did great.
Yeah.
Did you watch a lot of TV, Bill, when you were little?
Yeah, I watched a lot of sports.
Well, that's not TV. Well, that's not like sports.
Well, yeah,
is-
they're on TV. Yeah, I watched a
you're
lot
right.
of sports.
Okay,
I
okay,
watched
you're
a lot
right.
of.
but your
Touche.
team is.
I watched I watched a lot of old movies. I liked all the Warren Cowboy ones, so I liked all the Lee Marvin, Charles Bronson.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Do
you like John Wayne?
Clint Eastwood. John Wayne, I liked, but I liked the modern version, the distilled version of him.
Yeah.
dude. The thing was those guys. Like Lee Marvin, like he fought in World War II. I think
No
he was
shit.
one of 2 guys that survived in his platoon. He had gotten
Yeah.
shot. Charles Bronson worked in mines in Poland, and I want to
No
say
way.
he
Did
was
he?
probably born around the time when Hitler and Stalin made their pact to
Yeah.
take each half of Poland. Like those guys.
Yeah.
So like
They were
that's why
real
nowadays
guys.
when
No
so many
shit.
guys are playing
yeah.
tough guys, they're just these manicured pretty boys. So
No
that's
shit.
the only good thing I feel about this 10-year war we've had over in Iraq is like the next Charles Bronson, Lee Marvin is coming out of
Might
like
gonna
that
come out.
Fallujah shit.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able to deliver a line. Then we're going to be standing opposite of like, I'm scared. Is this guy serious? I had an easy life.
No shit.
Jimmy Stewart was a war hero.
What about
Really
this?
big
Do
war.
you remember the story of James Garner? That was a good one.
James Garner. I did a show with him.
Oh, Rockford
James Garner.
Files.
Here's what he did.
Rockford Files.
James Garner. Korean War, was it?
Yeah.
Korean War.
was in
Basically,
Korean
was
War.
it that? Was it James Garner? I think it was. Where he fucking changed outfits. He was a paratrooper, fell behind enemy lines, killed a guy, took his uniform, fell behind enemy lines,
Right.
found a Korean guy, was like going to fight him, and he goes, let's get out of this. Give me your uniform, I'll give you mine. I'll put the fucking gun to your back. We'll walk through to enemy lines. We'll switch uniforms back. I'll put the gun on,
No way.
And that's how he got out of the North Korea.
And
Get
that's
outta
how he
here.
booked all the jobs, because you think you're nervous about an audition after that?
No shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, just come walking. What do you need me to do? You think you can handle it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Well, that's
sure.
my favorite story.
Just don't ask me to cry on cue. I got that all buried.
Blake Clark.
deep.
You know Blake Clark, he's in the Sandler
Oh,
movies.
yeah.
Blake's a stand-up. He was in Vietnam.
Right.
And he tells a story. This is his story, but he was on patrol. He was on the lead.
Right.
Which is obviously fucking ridiculous.
He's on point.
In the fucking jungle. And they go, all right.
Recon.
Oh,
I would be scared
fuck.
enough just about snakes
Oh.
and that crap. Forget
Yeah,
about if
and
they had
in the
guns.
middle of the night, there was a lot. He said he describes it. The moon was really light, and you could see, but it was the darkest of night. So he comes across. There's a field, like there's a break in the woods. There's a giant, like a football field of rice paddies, and then another thing of woods. So as he exits the wood, as he exits the woods, he sees a Vietnamese exit at the same time across the field. They both meet eye to eye and then stand there for 2 seconds and then retreat back.
Now,
Wow.
now
They
she's
both
on
start
Bill Burr's
stepping
cruise
back.
ship.
And they both go, we don't want this fucking thing. So he goes back to the platoon and go, let's go over this way, fellas. I don't think they're over here. He totally lied. Never fucking said they never
Oh,
got
yeah.
any kind of fucking conflict
worked-
at all. I would have done that. Fuck that.
Yes, I would have.
I worked
Who the hell
third
wants
shift
that
in
shit?
a warehouse with a bunch of alcoholics, musicians, drug addicts, and then fuck ups like me. I was a convicted drunk driver and all this stuff. So we used to work third shift. One of the girls was there. She part time hooker. It was such a crazy job. Like the first day I got there, my boss, because one of my brothers worked there, got me the job. He worked second. I worked third shift. The guy was overseeing the warehouse. I got there, and he was this dude. He had to have been 6'10", and he was a cokehead, and he couldn't have weighed more than 160 pounds. One of the scariest looking dudes I've ever seen in my life. He was 40 years old, and the first day I came walking in, he was on what a pallet jack is?
No.
It's like you just they have the motorized one and the automatic one. It's I can't
it's
explain.
one
It's
of
got the
the-
handle, you
yeah.
slam it into the
Fork.
pile of
Sure,
shit. You jack up the
That's
thing and
called
then
a pallet check.
A
Okay.
pallet jack.
Yeah.
So he had the electronic one, and he was on it, wired out of his mind, just going, "I'm gonna drive it off the dock," and he would drive real close and then back it up and then start over. "I'm gonna drive it off the dock." He said it like fucking. 3 times in a row, and then the assistant underneath him, he was a total pothead, and he was the guy really running the show, covering for this guy. And as he kept yelling, "I'm going to drive off the dock," he had the biggest smiley hippie, all right, man, if that's what you want to do, That was, and that's how I came in there, right? So there was this.
Man, if that's what you want to
Yeah, but he didn't say that. But that was the look on his face. He was just, he'll get past this. He doesn't really want to do it. And I walked up, and between the two of them, "Hey, I'm Bill, the new guy." And they're like, "All right, hey, how are you?"
Holy fuck.
When he comes down, you can have the pallet jack, and he can start unloading trucks. So there was a guy who worked there. To this day, I've never met anybody who could drink like this guy. This guy was a Vietnam vet, and you would go out drinking with the guy, and it was just like, he would hand you a Budweiser, and you'd get a third of your way through it, and he'd hand you another one, and it became like bowling pins, and you were just sitting there, you were giving them to other people when he wasn't looking. What the hell was his name? Frank
Other people.
something or other. And when he would get drunk, he would tell his Vietnam stories. And
sweet.
dude, but he wouldn't get into the gore of it. But
No.
he was at the DMZ And you know those anti-aircraft guns that they shoot alternately? Boom, 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 boom. It looks almost like it's throwing punches at the sky.
Sure.
The place where he was at was so fucked up. He had that thing pointed horizontally at the tree line. And at night, he would sit on that fucking thing and just blow people to smithereens, trees, whatever thing, anything that fucking moved.
No way.
And he would be telling you these stories, and it was just like,
holy shit.
Yeah, last I heard, though, he did clean up. He was, I remember he wore a sweater every day, regardless of the heat. He wore a knitted sweater with nothing underneath it, no T-shirt, and he had jeans and like the white Seinfeld sneakers with the Velcro. And he would come, when we would go out, like, you'd have to take a break, like 3 weeks and be like, all right, we're trying to go out with Frank again. All right, we go out with Frank. And it was everything. It was the bowling pins. He just sits there trying to suck them down. Oh, dude.
Is he still alive?
Dude, we're going back. That was like the late 80s, man. We're going, well, when did I get busted? 89?
When did I get busted?
89 for drinking and driving, because it was right around that. Yeah, 89. I think it was 89.
Yeah.
Blame it on Frank.
Dude, I love horizontal.
No, I'd already gotten busted.
That's awesome.
When you can imagine that thing horizontal, just going douche, douche, douche.
Dude, I just read.
That's ingenious.
Oh my God, that's great.
That's great.
That's
a
it.
smart thing.
All the great ones can improvise.
That's right.
That's perfect.
You know,
That's right.
Jimmy. Most people just saw a guitar. Jimmy saw something totally different.
That was one of my favorite movies is Full Metal Jacket. You know, and like there's a crazy guy. He gets on the reporter gets on the helicopter. And there's just some crazy guy with a friggin' giant M60,
right,
leaning out the friggin' side of and he goes, "Where are we going?" And he goes, "Going to the DMV." You know the DMC, whatever. DMV. I don't have a license.
Don't go to that one.
Far away for that, aren't we?
Go to the Hollywood
But he's just
one.
leaning over, going, "Get some, get some."
Yeah,
and he's just shooting at farmers.
I know.
And the reporter's going, "Hey, man, what the fuck's going on?"
Yeah, he goes, "How do you shoot women and children?" And he goes, "Easy. You just don't lead them as much." Ain't war hell?
Wow.
Ain't war hell.
God, what a fucking Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
One of my favorites of all time.
Good man.
Filmmaker.
He's a good man.
He's a good man.
Yeah,
good
for the
man.
younger listeners, you got Dr. Strangelove. You got to start with that one.
Oh,
Just
you got to
work your
start
way.
with that one. Yeah, that's him.
I can't believe I don't own that. Every time I see it, it's just
Oh, Strangelove is unbelievable. Peter Sellers.
That one. Chris likes Dr. Strangelove.
our precious
shit, yeah.
I
bodily
went a little
fluids.
crazy watching that one once. That was at the Arc Theater.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, "Let's watch Dr. Strangelove." I'm like, "Chris, why are you talking like that?" He had like some sort of weird, like,
Those were the weird
filtered
years.
cigarette. "Let's watch Dr. Strangelove."
When
I'm
he-
like,
oh, did
where'd
he?
you get that filter from? What are you doing?
There were many periods of Chris's early life that we would
That
all
was
look
when he
at
worked
him
for
and go,
Dad.
You're in another area here.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. Like when he first started comedy, he was in a
I always got
small
worried.
theater in Madison called the
Yeah.
Arc Theater, which was an improvisational theater. And really, he had a tiny little apartment in Madison where he would drink a full bottle of Popov. Remember Popov vodka
God.
and orange juice? And he'd have them all over his room.
Watching a
and
tiny TV.
watching a
always
tiny
like
little black and white transistor TV, and then he'd do comedy at night.
right, and
Yeah.
work for Dad the Dad. And I'd like
And he
go over
sold
there and party
asphalt
with
for
him at
Dad
night.
in the day. Yeah.
I'd be like,
To who?
"You're gonna snap."
Well, I guess
out of
people with driveways. It's like, who owns the street? Wouldn't you just go to the government for that?
We'd go to I think he'd go to the government. We'd sell to the
Okay,
government,
yeah.
and then we'd sell to construction companies.
Oh, yeah, to do parking lots and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
That just seems
It's a lot
like
of
I'd be like,
money
"Are
there,
you gonna be okay, Dad? Dad's gonna see you. You know that tomorrow. You're gonna be all right." He's like, "I'm gonna be fine, Johnny. Don't worry about that. Everything's gonna be fine." I'm like, "Holy!"
He wore his Budweiser coat.
I
Like a
wasn't here.
Budweiser. Somebody gave him a Budweiser coat, somebody I don't know,
Like who worked
but he
there?
never took it off ever.
Yeah. One of those the truck driver,
Truck driver.
the
Yeah.
distributors
Yeah.
jackets.
Yeah.
Nice.
This thing's great.
He never slept in it.
Just a V of
Right.
dirty beer. Like you'd see Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like the V would be getting small. You did pretty good on Thursday. The V's kind of small.
This was Wednesday.
Well, before this evening wraps up,
Yes.
let's just talk really quick about where we are, all things comedy, and how it got started, and how,
How it got started, me and Al Madrigal had a conversation a a long time ago, like I guess it wasn't a long time ago, like maybe 2-3 years ago. We were just talking about podcasting and that type of thing, and how it was doing such great things for comedians, actors, and everybody who was doing it. And it was right before it was starting to blow up, and you felt that it was going to become this thing, and you knew what was going to happen. It was once again the artist created this thing or whatever, or it didn't create podcasting, but utilized podcasting to create this underground thing. And you knew what was going to happen. The businessman was going to come in, corral the whole thing, and then it becomes the behind the music contracts. We're going to own your show, but the exposure you're going to get, and we get 15% of your merch and all that shit. Yeah. We were just like, why don't we just start almost like a co-op and just have a bunch of talented people, a nice mix of people, and we all rise up together. And all the people who started it, the comics, the actors, and all that, they actually get the money rather than other outside people. So that's basically what we're doing. We just signed a lease. We're going to have our own studios down at the Lago Theater.
That's
great.
And I know you guys, you're on the network, so we got to work out a schedule or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like we just bought this great car, and we can all have it a different night.
Farley Brothers, you get at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
1 a.m. on a Tuesday night.
But what's great about it, about having the studios now, gives us a place. It gives us a place to meet advertisers. We have an office, and then it's also one of those things where, say, like you guys get a real guest, and you don't want to just have them come over for cheese and crackers and Coors Light, but I'm loving it, but I'm saying, you get somebody bigger, and you'd be like, he's kind of fussy. Let's try to make it look.
Make it look nice.
Yeah, make it a little. I mean, that's what I'm going to do, because I do my podcast. Like, I just do mine, I do it by myself, laying in bed with a mixer, and I just go off on shit and sing songs and just be unbelievably filthy. I love it. I have a good time. But every once in a while, like, I'll have a guest on, and that's when I'll probably be like using the studio.
There,
I'll go down there.
They'll have like a nice
actually have a professional,
right?
Like Jorge to mix it or something,
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
We're having a blast here, though.
Awesome.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
you guys are great. I'm working on an animated idea, and your boy here, Kevin, came in and did a couple of voices on it.
Yeah.
Absolutely crushed it.
Nice.
Crushed it.
It's good.
Crushed it. So anybody listening, if you have any voiceover work, this guy here, Jesus Christ.
It was fun. It was good, and it was a good show. And it's gonna fucking go.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so. If it does, that to me, that's the perfect TV show to have. Is you make a TV show money, but nobody knows what you look like.
Oh,
perfect.
God.
So then then when you walk down the street, nobody's fucking with you.
Oh yeah, animated. No, God, yeah, that's the best. Nobody knows you.
All I'm working for is free time. I just want to have free time, and that's another one. You don't have to go in hair and makeup. You don't have to do any of that bullshit. You can literally. I could show up with Chris's Budweiser jacket and just show up. Hey, how are you? Yeah.
No pants, nothing.
Yeah.
Well, unless
you do your thing.
Unless you're from East Germany, what's your Twitter account? Just so everybody knows.
Oh, it's at Bill Burr. BILLBURR.
You got lucky. You got a good
That's
one.
it.
We're out of time.
Yeah,
All right.
we're wrapping it up. Always thanks to our lovely producer, Jorge.
Thank you, Jorge.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Jorge.
Bill, so much. This was a real pleasure for us. And,
Thanks, Bill.
We can't thank you enough for
Absolutely.
letting us be on the network.
We're
Thanks for
all
coming.
Having a great
we're all
time.
fighting the fight. We're all fighting the man so we can be the man. And then,
Exactly.
and then we do the oppressing. We do the oppressing.
Yeah.
It's time
All right.
for a bunch of white guys to get in power.
That's
so.
right.
The funny thing,
Right.
Because he would go so fast and hit the back wall really hard, and that's when everybody was like, "God damn, that's hilarious! A naked fat guy hitting the wall, really hard."
I see. I thought he was sliding out the door. He was sliding in the door.
inside the
into
bar.
the people.
Yes, into the people, into the girls.
It's the 80s. You could get away with and people from the 70s were saying you missed it. And people from the 60s were saying that they missed it.
Right.
You just
Right.
keep
Yeah.
There's this weird thing now where it's like it's nowhere near as hardcore, or it's just like, people are getting their faces eaten. I just feel like it's either like timeout, everybody gets a ribbon, or people are on bath salts at raves.
Yeah.
They have taken it to the level where I think where we're even me, because I always thought we grew up kind of crazy. Chris doing naked beer slides, but it was mostly booze and I guess some pot.
Tomfoolery.
Yeah, little tomfoolery.
Right.
Like people. So you had the pothead, you had the druggie, and you had the boozer.
But
All these
HBO
great-
was around, and they felt no need to do documentaries on people crushing a bunch of Coors Lights. Like, what's wrong with the youth? But all those Oxy, crystal meth, like,
Now these
oh my
guys, yeah,
God.
they're like going.
Fuck,
everyone
man.
going to their parents' medicine cabinet, and we'll pour it into a vase, and then people just start taking pills and eat. Like, what are you? I got a boner. I guess your dad must have had Viagra. Yeah, that's what happened to you. And then another guy.
Well, they don't know what they're taking, and they
Yeah.
just take it, and they're like, I think that was a Vicodin, but I got a boner. No, you're on Viagra.
Right.
Oh, okay. You didn't know what you were taking?
and some guy be knocked out. Like,
No, I got to hand it to him. I thought when I saw crack babies, I was like, that's it. Like, there's no,
Yeah.
Shit, right?
there's no way my children or anything will ever be able to shock me. And then when I was doing college gigs in the late 90s, I first started seeing those before and after crystal meth billboards. Dude, it was Walking Dead. Like those meth
I've
heads
seen those.
should do a class action suit against all zombie. Well, I guess zombie movies came out before, but they're like the closest thing. Like if
hey, ho, we're the Farley brothers.
Holy shit, we got another show on our hands,
God
John.
bless America. We've done it.
God damn it.
This shit is real today.
Lights are on.
Oh, exactly.
This shit
We've
is
got a very, very special guest.
Oh my.
Oh my
Oh
God,
my
he's
God.
such a kind, gentle,
Yes.
and caring person. I've known him for
Got a
years.
voice of an angel.
Voice
Mr.
of an angel,
Smiles.
ladies and gentlemen, Bill Burr.
how are you?
Hey.
Did my mother write that intro?
You're actually dead.
Yeah, none of that was true.
Kind, gentle,
Piece of
caring,
shit.
caring young man. Caring, thank you, God damn,
Yeah.
for
Holy
doing this.
shit.
Thank you for
This
having me.
is huge.
Look, you
This
broke
is
out
a
a
huge
cheese
help.
plate and a Coors Light here.
Right?
I'm on good.
I did this myself. I thought,
I could
Bill's
tell by
coming
the
over.
unbelievably uneven slices of cheese. You were definitely multitasking when you did that.
Yeah, I was slicing very quickly, and the plate itself
Is
a
adorable.
gift. It's a gift from Target, and
Like a gift, like you stole it.
well, it was a gift somebody gave it to me, and it's a nice little gift. But I mean, this is the best I can do when I'm entertaining as an important guest.
That is.
Cheese and crackers and beer.
Beer, that's great. I haven't had a
the
Coors
best.
Light since I can't remember. I think when I
Silver
was underage drinking in a parking lot
Yeah.
in an industrial park.
I'm surprised at how good
Coors
it is.
Light.
I bought a
Not gonna
bunch of that. I bought a 12
Light?
wrecker. 12 wrecker the other day, and Jennifer, my wife, had some girls over, and I was sitting in the living room, and all I heard, there was one probably by my bed or something, and all I heard was, ew, who's drinking Coors Light? Gross. I'm like, what?
What's wrong
Coors
with
Light
Coors
actually,
Light?
for the first time ever, sold more beers than Budweiser. So Budweiser is technically not the king of beers anymore.
This is the biggest king of beers?
That's because
Oh
of
my
those
God.
Biggest Loser shows. People won't full of alcohol.
Alcohol.
So it was so funny. We used to be like, dude, you're really going to get fucked up on these. When all you had to do was just drink a whiskey. Like if I knew back then, where it's just like all the extra effort. This is like eating, like drinking beer to get drunk is like eating popcorn like one at a time.
Yeah.
And if you drink whiskey, you're just grabbing a handful. Like, let's get on with this already.
So many
That was
more-
our designated driver. We'd always be like, he's just drinking beer.
He's
no
just
worries.
drinking beer.
He's fine. He can drive.
Exactly.
So much
No.
extra pooping too.
Oh, yeah.
Beer. When you tried to drink, I remember trying to get
Oh,
drunk
yeah.
on beer, and it was just like so.
But the weird thing
Shitting
is,
for me is it's
when we
pours
finish
out of me.
our red, white, and blue is in a bottle, and when you were finished with it, you would throw it against the wall and smash it. That's how crazy this bar was.
Wait a minute, I
And-
thought it came in like red cups.
No, they did eventually because everybody was throwing their beer against the wall, and like girls, nice girls were in there, and they
Right.
get it was like Animal House. You remember when the girl walks into Animal House and she gets a beer slammed?
Yeah.
It was exactly like that.
Now, did Chris actually invent?
Yes, he did.
He invented the naked beer slide.
Yeah, my brother Chris.
Did you see the very first
I
naked beer
saw
slide?
it. We played rugby.
Right.
Chris and I were on the rugby team, and Chris would get drunk after games. It was
That's
weird.
weird.
It was weird. But he when he got drunk, yes. The
Silver
Coors
Ooh,
Light.
there's a mountain stream.
And after the rugby game, he got completely naked in the avalanche, and everybody threw their beer on the ground.
Right.
And he took a
Oh my
running
God.
dive and did like a Pete Rose with his dick against the ground. You know, I thought his dick was going to get cut off.
Are you talking about people throwing beer bottles, breaking them?
There were beer bottles around. Yes, broken beer bottles around. He still did it. He still went head first, Pete Rose slide into the back. But the funniest thing, because he was, you know, super fat, when he hit the back of the wall, his fat would jiggle all around. And he'd hit the back wall so hard. That was really.
I was a meth head, and I was fiending, and I needed money. Right. I would just be an extra on Walking Dead.
No makeup.
I would crush it. No makeup, exactly, and just like
just go in and be like, I want to be an extra in fucking Z War. What was that? Z
World War Z.
World War
that was
Z.
a great movie.
Fuck, that was a great movie. Did you see World War Z?
Scared me.
Holy
I loved
shit,
it.
that was great.
And I made fun of it on my podcast. I was saying the end of the world is not PG-13.
Yeah,
it's going to be NC-17. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Murder in the street and all kinds
shit.
of cursing. And golly gee, there's zombies. But I saw it. You know what was great about it? Because they toned down the violence. They did what I feel a lot of people who do thrillers don't do enough. Because they have the special effects to lean on, is they built suspense.
Yeah.
They built it with the music and all that. And I learned that a long time ago when I was watching Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. I don't know if you guys ever saw that.
What the fuck?
Dark Knight
what movie is that?
Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Judah Freelander finally found out the name because I was on the road watching it, and they didn't say what the name was. It was the classic horror movie where it was a small town, and there was this single mother, and she had a son who was a little slow. And everyone was making fun of him. He's like, stop picking on me, right? And somehow they all got together and they killed him near like a scarecrow.
They made him into a scarecrow?
And they killed him near in a cornfield. They I don't know what, I can't remember. They went out of control.
Why did they kill him? Because he's slow?
I forget.
bullied him.
Probably because they were date raping somebody and he said, stop doing that. So that, this is a 70s movie, right?
Right.
So the football players whacked him, and then he comes back out of the cornfield as a scarecrow, and it was creeping me out. You go see The Perfect Storm, and you don't give a shit about anybody in the movie because it's all about the wave, and it's just like, all right,
Yes.
And George Clooney in there, and he pushes himself back into the boat rather than doing what you really do when you drown. Drink Bud Hard anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
I used to love Budweiser, just straight Budweiser.
I was
I was a Bud man over Miller Lite. I went against Wisconsin.
Yeah. For a while, I was Miller Lite, but then
that was the battle in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Miller Lite or Budweiser. That was it.
Yeah.
We used to drink, when we were hungover, we used to drink Busch or Busch Light because it was sort of like water.
Yeah.
You got hydrated and a buzz.
Worked.
Right.
Yeah.
both ways.
I like when you're hungover, you drink the crappy beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to, in my college, I went to Marquette University in Milwaukee, and we had a place called the Avalanche, a real shithole. It had no windows except those kind of burned out, those like windows that are like, they're not really windows, but you can't see in or out of them.
Right.
And there was just one row of those, and that's it. And then the rest
You
of it
mean
was
those
dark.
like square
They're
hunks
square
of fucking glass?
They're glass, but you can't see. They're blurry.
Yeah, I know
They're
what you
blurry.
It's a gay bar. He went to a gay bar. a gay bar for married men. You don't want to get caught out there.
Yeah, in the day it was gay, and then the college kids came in at night, and it turned. It
was that
fun.
weird transitional period.
5 o'clock was very confusing.
Weird transitional period around 5 o'clock.
Oh
where
my
the
God,
college
they're
kids
coming
came
in. What are you guys still doing here? All right, we're leaving. We're leaving.
But back in the day, they used to serve red, white, and blue.
I remember that stuff.
Yeah, and it was 50 cents. I'm aging myself, but that's all right.
No, it was
50
like
cents.
$4.99 a case. I'm not
Yeah,
joking.
yeah.
It was something ridiculous. $5.99 for a case of beer, 24 of them.
Yeah.
Holy
and that was like the funny thing. Like if people even as like high school kids, we looked down on it. Like if somebody came in,
Right.
like, if you were
With
drinking
red,
white, and blue, it was as a joke because
Yeah.
Right.
you'd still try to get Geez, now we're talking old beer. I remember the ones.
Old
do you guys
beer.
remember Heffenreffers?
F and ref.
The Green Death. You don't remember that?
Heffenreff.
Used to come in a green bottle,
Yeah.
and
Is it like a Mickey's? Remember Mickey's with
I
the big
drink
mouth?
yeah, but it wasn't that. It was an extra level.